Hi, I'm Darcel Lobo. I'm an attorney in Seattle. I'm a solo. I have my own law firm, and we talk about all things running a law firm, being a mom, taking care of yourself. And so today, for my fellow attorneys or maybe law students who want to open their own law firm, we're going to talk today. And what we're going to talk about is how practicing law as a solo attorney is the smallest part of your day. That is like, I spend the least number of hours per day, per week, actually practicing law. So let's explain. Let's rewind and explain why that is, how does that even happen? So as a law firm owner, you already know that you're going to be wearing all of the hats. You're the owner of a business, right? You're in charge of marketing, you're in charge of sales, you're doing your consultations, right? You're closing those deals. You are your own HR department. If you have any kind of support help, whether you have someone like a paralegal as a W-2 employee, if you have independent contractors, 1099s, if you have someone helping you virtually or remotely. So you're in charge of HR, right? You're doing all the billing, and we're going to get back to billing, but if you are billing hourly, you are doing all of your own billing. You are your own customer complaint department, right? If somebody is not happy for whatever reason, you have to deal with it. You are your own bookkeeper. Hopefully not your own tax preparer. That is the first thing I did, was hire someone who could do my taxes. And so if you plan to do your own taxes, if you are doing your own taxes, please stop and get some help. Have somebody else do it. And same with bookkeeper. Once I hired my first employee, that's when I knew it was time to get a bookkeeper. I was able to do my own books my first year or so, but after my first year, it was time for me to hire some help. And so I did so first. I got 1099 help with some assistance, and then I brought on someone as a W-2 employee. And so up until that point, I was able to manage my own books and stuff, but once I got help and had to be responsible for that, I got a bookkeeper to handle that as well. So, but if you're a true solo and just starting out, you're doing all these things, and you might be your own receptionist. Maybe you are answering your own phones, which I hope you are not, at least not for very long. Please get some virtual support to manage your phones. Answering the phones takes up so much time with my paralegal, because sometimes she'll answer the phones, or I do have virtual support as well. I use Smith AI, and actually I will list below, I will link, I believe on my website for my coaching, that I have a list of my favorite software that I use and support. So I will link that down below. So if you are looking for, what kind of software do you need to open your firm, or if you're a new solo, what should you have? Because I was very bare bones, minimal overhead when I opened my own law firm. And even well, now not so much, but I will, in the link that I will share, it'll have a lot of programs and software that is low cost, budget friendly to use. And then also you're your own filing clerk, right? If you unless you are just 100% paperless, which if you are, that is amazing, and I'm very jealous, but that doesn't work for me in my practice areas. We need original documents. And so handling your own files and having your own filing system. So you're doing all these things, and even as you start to get help as a new solo, you're not going to have all the help right away, not even in your first year. Maybe you'll get a CPA, hopefully, to handle your taxes, maybe a bookkeeper, maybe you'll get some virtual support to help with your phones, but you're still going to be doing a lot of the things. And so practicing law, wasn't even on that list that I went over, and that's not even the whole list, right? But so the point of that is that you wear all the hats. You're doing everything, especially when you first start out. So I've been out on my own for 7 years now. So at this point, I have a full-time paralegal who's a W-2 employee. Then I also have some remote support, some virtual support. And even still, with the help that I have someone who does my books, someone who does my taxes, I have someone answering my phones, I have all this help, and still practicing law is the smallest part of my day. And so how do you navigate that? How do you handle that? And how do you plan for that? Well, I have really learned how to batch my calendar. And so with my calendar, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, and if you're not doing it, you need to start doing it, because it's the only way you're going to be able to get things done and to help your clients and take care of all the things and still have time for yourself. Because here on this channel, we talk about not just working and being a mom, but also taking care of yourself and how to be your own priority in your own life. And so batching your calendar is one of the things you have to figure out pretty quickly. And I do have a free PDF guide on how to batch your calendar, because I work 25 hours a week running my firm. And so if you want to do that, or you need some help with your schedule, make sure you get that free PDF to help you with your calendar and your schedule. So I work 5 days a week, but on Wednesdays and Fridays, I do not see clients. Wednesdays, I'm done around 12. And so I only see clients on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And so with my practice, a big part of what I do is estate planning, which requires 2 witnesses and notary and stuff. So we do those only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is I have a brick and mortar office. I also have a home office that you see me in before, but this is my brick and mortar office. And so me and my paralegal are here 2 days a week doing those signings. But you have to be very clear about when are you going to see clients. You shouldn't be available any time that a client wants to see you. Maybe when you first start out, you might feel the need to do so in order to get the clients in the door, but you'll quickly figure out that it doesn't really work that well for you, especially for me, because with my schedule, part of why I went out on my own was to be able to control my own schedule, right? And for a lot of you who are looking to open your own law firm or are newer attorneys, you probably have that same reason, right? That's probably one of your big whys, is that you want control over your schedule. And so for me, I take my kids to school every day. Well, on Mondays, my husband is off, but most days I take my kids to school. I'm picking them up from school most days. And so I have to be able to run this business, help my clients do all the things within the parameters of my schedule, because being able to pick up my kids from school is a priority for me, right? And so I don't have someone else helping with that right now. And so it's so important that we have boundaries around our time and that we are figuring out our calendar. So if you're opening up shop to go solo, or you're a new solo, please make sure you have sat down and figured out your calendar, your availability. When do you want to do the different tasks that you have to do, right? And so aside from seeing clients, when are you going to do the legal work? When are you going to do consultations? When are you going to work on your marketing? If you write blogs for your website, when are you going to write those blogs? If you're like me and you create videos for your law firm, when are you going to create those videos? So going through that schedule. Now, of course, there's going to be some things that affect the schedule that are outside of your control. And it depends on your practice area also. I don't have a litigation practice. I have more of a motion practice. And so I do have some control over court hearings when I get to schedule them, but there are some hearings that I can't control. So there may be times that I have a hearing scheduled that does not fit within my calendar, and that's okay, because we also have to be flexible. But when you go into your schedule and having a plan on your calendar, it really helps you to focus and be more efficient and productive and to get work done. And so let's go back to talk about billing, because this ties into your billing and why it's so important. Again, depending on your practice area, but if you are looking at doing hourly billing, if you have the ability to move to a flat fee model, so if your courts allow for it, your RPCs, your rules of professional conduct allow for it, you should really look at transitioning to flat fee billing, because we have to focus on the value we provide to our clients and not so much trading our time for dollars. Trading your time for dollars, you are imposing an income ceiling for yourself. If you are trading your time for dollars, if you are just billing by the hour. And so for me, my hourly rate, I do have some hourly work that I have to do for various reasons. I can't flat fee it, and one of them is because there's a court rule that it has to be hourly. And so my hourly rate is currently $3.25 an hour. It's actually going to be going up quite a bit here soon, actually. But in trading my time for dollars, depending on how many hours I'm billing, there's a cap as to how much money I can make. It's just pure math, right? And so, and again, so little of your time is actually doing the legal work, it's actually practicing law. So if you factor that in as a solo, your ability to bill every day is just, you're really limiting yourself. And so with a more focusing on the value you provide, and by flat feeing your services based on the value you're providing the clients, you eliminate that ceiling, that income cap for yourself. You don't have that anymore because you're not trading your time for dollars. Now, to do this, you need to have systems in place and processes in place in order to increase your efficiency and increase your productivity in your office. But please, if you are looking to open your own law firm, you want to look at the value you provide and place a price tag on that. Now, there are some things where you may feel like, oh, well, I don't know how much to charge for that, right? It could be this, if you're doing someone's will, for instance, it could be a simple will, it could be a complicated will. If you're doing a probate, maybe it's a simple probate or a complicated probate. And so you can definitely break it down into fees. It doesn't have to be the same price for everyone. It could be, or different phases of the process. If you're doing a divorce, which I don't do divorces, but if you're doing a divorce, maybe you have 3 phases of a divorce, and phase 1 is this, and phase 2 is this, and phase 3 is this. It's not going to be the same price for everyone because everyone's, circumstances and set of facts are going to be unique. So you'll have to assess during your consultation, okay, what is the scope of work? What am I doing? Here's my flat fee for this set of work. But if it exceeds that, then there's going to be additional costs later. And that's okay to have. It doesn't have to be one fixed price for everything if you're going to have some variables that you don't know. Okay? And so keep this in mind in order to be able to work the hours that you want to work, whether it's 25 hours a week like me, if it's 30, 35, maybe you only want to work 15 hours a week. If you want to have that flexibility with your schedule and with your time, you need to get some systems in place in order to be able to do so. And if you're looking to open your own law firm, if you're new to having a law firm, we are launching Opening Your Law Firm in 60 Days or Less coaching program, which I'm really excited to do because I wish there was a program like this for me when I was going out on my own 7 years ago. I was just trying to piecemeal things from articles and some blogs I could find and some books, but there wasn't a lot out there for attorneys who were moms and trying to juggle, working and family and also taking care of yourself. And that's a big part of it. And so if you want help with that, make sure to stay tuned because I will be announcing that here soon. If you're watching this and it's already available, I will have it linked down below, but currently it is not. Doors are opening next month for that program. And so, to really give you a fast track in 60 days of what it took me a really long time to navigate and figure out, right, with 7 years of hindsight on what I would do different. And, with all my templates, my engagement agreements, my contracts, my scripts, everything that you would need to have your law firm open in 60 days. So I'm excited to share that with you if that may be of interest to you. So, yes. So if you are looking to open a law firm, please know it's amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would never work for someone else again. Hands down, no questions. But practicing law will be the smallest part of your day. All right, hope this helps and have a good one.